In this lesson, we'll cover adding revisions. Let's say we need to add a revision to our sheet. We need to do a few things. One, we need to make a revision cloud and tag that cloud on one of our drawings. Then what we need to do is key in our revision description. Now the revisions on this title block will be located midway down inside of the title block. I'm going to zoom in. There are 3 columns: revision number, revision description, and revision date. This will pull from the information that you key in when we create a revision. So how do we create revisions? Well, to create a revision, let's go to the View tab on the ribbon. Once on the View tab in the Sheet Composition area, right in the middle is a Sheet Issue Revision icon. Let's select that. This will open up the new Sheet Issue Revision window. The revision 1 is the one we're creating right now. Now you can pick a different numbering scheme. Right now mine is set to numeric, but you can pick alphabetic or none. I'm going to leave it numeric, starting with 1. Date, I'm going to key in the date to this revision. Now I could key in whatever date I want. In this case, I'm just keying in 1/1/2014. Now the description is important because it's whatever is being revised or the revision is about. So I'm going to say column change as far as my definition of this description. Now I have issued, issued to, and issued by. If I select issued, it's going to lock out the actual revision or gray it out in this case. I can also say issued to or issued by keying in various names. The add button on the right will add a second revision and third revision to this table. Numbering is either by project or by sheet. We're going to leave it by project. And you can also organize by alphabetic sequence in your options by changing the letters from A to Z to something else if you wanted to use a letter for the numbering scheme. With the revision created here, simply click OK. Now the revision has been added to the table inside of Revit, but we need to depict it actually in the view next. So to do that, let's go to the Annotate tab. Once on the Annotate tab in the Detail area, click Revision Cloud. Now, the revision cloud is actually going to be a series of curves, almost like arcs, but you can actually draw them independently using a line or a rectangle for these revisions. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and you'll see how this works. When I click a point and start to drag, I see it's forming a rectangle for the cloud. It's a little easier to actually use than clicking lines. When you have the cloud length for what you want, simply left-click again to place the cloud. Now to end the command at this point, click the green check mark. That places the cloud within my drawing. And I can see on the left the revision is the revision 1 column change that pulled from the revision table, since that was the one that was created. Now if you want to place a revision tag on the actual cloud, go back to the Annotate tab. Once on the Annotate tab, click Tag by Category. When the Tag by Category option comes up, simply click the revision cloud. You should see a tag appear. If the tag does not appear, what you can do is load in the actual revision tag. Revit will actually prompt you if it doesn't exist by actually loading this. Since it exists, simply select the revision cloud, use the drag handle to reposition it, and once positioned, click Modify. Select in the background to deselect. Now to see the information in the revision table in the title block, zoom in, and you can see the revision that we keyed in, number 1, description of column change, with the date 1/1/2014 is now listed. And if you want to make another revision, you would follow the same process by adding a revision, generating a cloud, and then tagging it, and then it'll update the revision table. So as a review, in this lesson, we looked at adding revisions. The first thing we did is we added a revision to the Revit project, where we chose a numbering scheme, set a date, gave the revision a description, and then we could change some of the other values by adding additional revisions or issuing it to a specific person. Once we had that revision created, we created the revision cloud on the drawing and tagged the cloud. After the cloud was tagged, the table updated in the title block showing the new revision.